Hey everybody. Everyone liked the other random reading I posted. I'm not really good at doing pick a cards in multiple piles because when I channel, it's hard to jump into channeling something else. So I just thought I'd do another random card pull today and hope whoever needs to hear it hears it. If you've been following my page, you'll know there's kind of a lot going on right now with some stuff. So I just wanted to get away from that for a second. I'm going to be using a couple different decks. I got 3 different tarot decks out and 3 of my oracle decks out. I got both my Night Vale decks, and I have my own book I put together for those cards. I really like using the Night Vale decks because it has a podcast, so I can use the stories from that podcast to help explain the cards. So I guess if you're still in like the first couple episodes of it, spoilers, but by now everyone, if you're going to listen to it, probably has already listened to it. So yeah, let's just get started. My back. Okay. 9 of Wands with the King of Swords in reverse, 5 of Wands in reverse, 8 of Cups in reverse, and the Moon upright. Okay. I want to get clarifiers before I get further into this. Ooh. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to get one more row of tarot clarifiers before I go forward. I'm kind of interested in where this is going already because a lot of the cards coming out, I knew that was going to pop out. I saw a card at the bottom of the deck before I started shuffling, and I had a feeling it was going to pop back out, and it indeed did. Okay. So. Wow, okay. So I picked some clarifiers up at this top row just for like an overall energy of the spread. So we have Death, the Hermit, and the Hierophant. So Death is talking about you're going to be starting a new cycle soon. Some things that have been kind of up in the air, some things that have been kind of shitty probably, things that have been bothering you for a while basically, that part of a cycle is coming to a close. However, with the Hermit being next, as this cycle is coming to a close, Spirit is asking you to kind of take a step back, take some time for yourself, have some quiet time, because everything going on is kind of stressful. And so if you don't give yourself that space to kind of just feel it out, you're probably going to be a little bit overwhelmed. I just saw this clock in the corner of this picture for the first time. And I kind of feel like you feel like you're running out of time to make this change, to make this decision, to do whatever it is you need to do. And so I feel like this is kind of Spirit just saying, you do have the time. Don't worry about it. It's covered. Just, hang tight for a second. And then with the Hierophant, the Hierophant to me talks about a couple things. It can talk about higher learning. In this deck in particular, I kind of take it as people around you trying to give you advice, specifically older people. It could also be like reading too much into what people in the media are saying about things and ignoring your own higher truth about a subject. So Spirit is saying, as you're going through this death and rebirth cycle, keep in mind what you hold to be true and not necessarily what other people hold to be true. For example, a lot of spiritual people will be like, oh, love and light. And it's like, okay, that's great, but you're ignoring all the shadow work that goes into actually improving yourself as a human being. So it's kind of like that, where it's like, just because a lot of people are on this train of saying this is the only way doesn't mean it's necessarily the right way. So moving forward, I think I'm actually going to read them in rows going across now that I look at it. What was amusing to me before I get into reading these rows, because these are kind of all over the place, is the first row ended with the moon and the third row starts with the moon. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. Yep, I think I see how I'm going to do this. So first you start with the Nine of Wands, and I want to see what I wrote down for the Nine of Wands in my book. I want to look at the quote I put with it. So the quote I have for it is, look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's just the void, infinite and indifferent. We're so small, so very, very small. So what I'm getting with this card is, in spite of things being kind of gloomy and grim, you're still fighting your way forward. You're like, yeah, it's shitty. I don't like this. This all fucking sucks, but I'm not giving up yet. Absolutely not. With King of Swords in reverse, I'm feeling that one of the things you're probably fighting against is a masculine authority figure. The card in this deck for the King of Swords, I'm going to show it to you upright, is the sheriff from the Sheriff's Secret Police in Night Vale. King of Swords in general is also, especially in reverse, I kind of see as a masculine figure who doesn't care if they hurt people. They're all about no nonsense. I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't care who it hurts along the way. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And I kind of get the feeling that this is one of the things you're having to heal from right now, is this person who, again, a masculine figure who is either maybe older than you, maybe had a position of power over you. So this could be like a boss or a partner, anything really, who just really wasn't being fair to you. Five of Wands. So the quote I have for Wands is, there is no I in team. This has been a partial list of letters not found in the word team. And Five of Wands in reverse talks about an end to conflict. So what I kind of get with that following the King of Swords in reverse is like, yeah, it was a shitty situation with someone, especially with that quote, there is no I in team, someone trying to make it all about themselves. You're trying to find humor in that situation as a way to move on from that struggle. Eight of Cups in reverse. I think I know what the picture is in this deck, but I'm not sure if I have the right episode in mind. Where's my quote? Regret nothing until it is too late, then regret everything. So the picture in this card, I was completely wrong, by the way. This is the dog park. And the dog park in Night Vale is, if you've even listened to the first episode, no dogs are allowed in the dog park. People are not allowed in the dog park. You may see hooded figures in the dog park. Do not approach them. Do not approach the dog park. So with it in reverse, what I'm getting is there's this fear of this situation that's making you want to avoid it. To the point that you are possibly even purposely keeping things hidden from yourself with the moon. The moon card talks specifically about things being hidden. And in this deck, it talks about also things not being real. The picture in this card is from, I forget the name of the imaginary place, so I'm going to look it up because I don't want to say the wrong words. Svitz. Okay. So there's a made-up country in the world of Night Vale called Svitz. And Night Vale is set up so it's like a radio broadcaster doing a broadcast in this desert town in a dystopian alternate future. Svitz is a country that he says he goes to, and it's a perfect destination for those who are not apt to hallucinations. So what I'm getting from the moon following all this is you are possibly keeping yourself in a state of illusion about the situation because it's kind of hard to deal with still. Following the, oh yeah, okay, I see how this goes. So the reason you're in this state is I think that the King of Swords is talking about a possible romantic situation with the Lovers in reverse here. And if you look at this card, it almost looks like people being blasted away by radiation. That's kind of what I got by that. So I get that there might have been a very unfortunate situation you had to deal with where things just all kind of fell apart. That's interesting. I got that kind of visualization of radiation here. And the Judgment card, which is the final card I pulled so far, was also the picture of an atom bomb. So that's that. But what I'm getting with the Lovers is, yeah, it was a very bad situation, and you kind of just, you tried to walk away from it unscathed, but there was no walking away from the situation unscathed. What I'm getting, though, is that with the Page of Cups following it, that's interesting. So if you look at this card, I was going to say one thing, but the imagery on this card made me second guess it. He's pouring this cup out, and he's trying to catch all the fish, but they're falling through his hands. So what I'm getting is, despite the heartbreak that you've went through, you're trying to move forward and offer your cup to other people and offer what you have to other people, but it's like it keeps slipping through your hands. No actual connections are being formed. And this is kind of seconded by the next card being the Six of Pentacles, of she's pouring the water out, but into the only opening without hands reaching out. So it's like you're giving, but like you're probably giving to either someone who's just taking, or you're giving and no one's really paying attention to that. Like, it doesn't matter how much you give, it's never enough for the people around you. However, I want to look at the book for this one. It's Six of Swords in reverse. I want to see what I put for the quote. So the quote I have is, "Let me be brief. Let us all be brief. Let us briefly be." And the Six of Swords talks about being stuck in the past. And it's, again, specifically about this King of Swords, because we have the King of Swords popping upright again. So being upright up here is where I said about how the King of Swords was just the archetype of a King of Swords reversed. You know, not a good guy. But with it being upright following the Six of Swords in reverse, is you are stuck on this situation. You're possibly stuck on when they weren't so shitty, when they were a better person, when they were nice, when their intellect was witty and not just hurt. When they were, when they had all these ideas instead of, you know, just taking yours. Like, you're still caught up on the situation of, well, what if they'll be better again? What if it'll change and they'll go back to how they used to be? But with the moon popping up again after that, that's not true. That's especially, so the card above it is the moon and the card following it is the moon. So you're definitely stuck in this phase of it being being completely caught in an illusion about this person. They are not who you thought they were. And the fact that that's how it is hurts so much that it's really hard for you to move on from that. However, I want to look at these last cards here. We have the World with the Six of Wands upright, with the Eight of Wands in reversed, and Judgment. So in the World card here, the world's literally on fire, but they're down here, you know, in their bunker having a grand old time. So what I'm getting from that is, even though everything is falling apart, you need to find the people close to you who you feel safe with to kind of keep living your life with. Keep finding those happy moments with. Like, I know we're still in the pandemic, but I don't know, like, go to a park, like a social distanced coffee date. I don't know. But just finding people who are worth being around to allow yourself to still let your light shine without having to involve yourself either with this King of Swords or with thoughts of this King of Swords. Because, yeah, with this Page of Cups and the Six of Pentacles up here, not on second looking at it, yeah, it's like you keep giving to this person and they just don't. It doesn't matter. It's never enough. Six of Wands following this World, though, is you are going to get... Six of Wands, it's the victory card. It's literally the victory card. And that tells me is, you know, being with the people who matter to you, who will have nothing to do with this person. I'm getting, for some people, it could even be a situation. King of Swords could represent a bad work situation, possibly. That was really specific. But being with the people who matter to you are going to help you find victory over this situation. Eight of Wands in reverse. So Eight of Wands in this deck upright talks about someone who they choose to be the leader of the pack. You know, no one was making a choice, so they're like, fuck it, I'm going to make the choice. And then everyone's like, wow, everything turned out great. And you're like, yeah, it's because I made the choice. So what I'm seeing is you need to stop avoiding making the choice. You already know what choice you need to make here based on what I'm seeing. But with the two moon cards coming out, you're choosing to ignore the facts to stay in a situation that is familiar, because familiar is comfortable, even though the situation itself might be super, super uncomfortable. So what's coming here is, with the last two cards, You either need to make this decision or it will be made for you with this Judgment card. So in the book for this deck, the Judgment card says something along the lines of, there's a button, but it's your finger on that, and only you have the power to make that choice. But with Judgment card, I also get the feeling of like divine judgment. So like this is kind of the universe saying, hey, it's, you have the opportunity right now to make this choice. But like if you don't make it and you just keep, like, you choose one or the other, whatever path you choose is up to you. But if you keep sitting in stagnation of, I'm just not going to make any choices because it's painful, Spirit's going to come in with a tower moment, and tower moments are never fun. Tower moments are helpful. They help us get rid of the things in our life that were not serving us, that were hurting us, that were built on, castles built on sand, but they still suck when you're going through them. Like, for example, there's someone I'm no longer friends with, who had something similar to this come up. They had a shitty job that was taking advantage of them. They kept complaining how they weren't getting paid fairly, how everything was shitty. And I said, listen, because I pulled cards from it, I said, listen, you have the opportunity right now to choose what you do. But if you do not choose, Spirit's going to choose for you. And he kept ignoring what I was saying. And yep, eventually he ended up getting fired and possibly losing his apartment now. And just blamed it on everyone but himself. But point being, if you don't listen to Spirit saying, hey, you need to make a change, it's going to make it for you, and it's not going to be fun. So I'm going to get some advice cards from my various Oracle decks, but the advice I'd offer right off the bat is, especially with the Hermit at the top, take space to contemplate what changes are going to be in your highest good right now, and then make steps to going towards those changes. I want this one. I want that one. I want that one. Okay, so we have nourish your body with high vibing energy. This actually looks like Snickersnee. I don't know if you're watching this. I know you're on. I have you added, so like, hi if you're watching this, because this looks like you. Nourish your body with high vibing energy. Then we had step out of the comfort zone and try something new. I was just saying that. Then we have embrace your inner divine goddess. You are pure magic, and unleash your inner wild child. Get up and dance. So, first of all, if you look at this card, she has tattoos of butterflies, and I take that as another synchronicity of transformation. So, you might want to start eating food that is less processed. I know that's kind of hard because unprocessed food is really expensive. No matter what people say, it's always cheaper to buy a fucking ramen than it is to buy, fresh fruit. But if you can afford to do so, try and eat something less processed for a little bit. See if that makes a change. Definitely keep yourself hydrated. But again, what I was saying with the world card down here, just surround yourself with people who are more nourishing to your soul. 1818 was just on the timer. So you might want to look into that angel number or just the angel number of 18. 18 also reduces down to 9, and 9 is the ending of cycles, which echoes the death card. 13 might be another important number. Step out of your comfort zone, try something new. That's kind of what I was saying with, make the choice. Like, even though what you're doing is comfortable, just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's in your highest good or is actually comfortable. Embrace your inner divine goddess. Everyone has both masculine and feminine energy inside of them. Doesn't matter your gender. You have both of the energies. What this is saying is embrace that divine feminine energy inside yourself in order to honestly nurture yourself. Be that kind of mothering energy to yourself as you're going through this difficult transformation, because it's a transformation that's needed. And the other side, there's so many good things waiting for you. But any transformation is usually going to be kind of sucky. It's just how it works. But when you get to the other side, it's going to be great. You are pure magic here, what that's kind of telling me. And if you look at this, this is the moon popping up again. So what I'm seeing is use your own magic to manifest what you want out of this situation. I'm not saying you're going to be able to change this person and not be shitty, but what I am saying is you can manifest within yourself to be able to see the truth of the situation, to take those blinders off to what is going on. Because if you look at this Page of Cups too, as he's pouring the fish out through his hand, he can't see shit. So you can manifest too within yourself, see the truth of the situation, and see what your best path forward is. With Unleash Your Inner Wild Child, Get Up and Dance, I'm just feeling like do something that makes you happy. Do something that gets your body active and makes you feel happy. I want to pull from the Asylum Oracle. I'm going to try and only get one card because these actually have like, the booklet has some meditations that go with them, and I really like them, but they're kind of long, so I'm going to try and just pull like one card. That works. We have the Bun. I'm betting this is in the element of earth, but we shall see. I was right. It's on page 23. 23 might be another number to look up. 23 also reduces down to 5, which is the number of change. More nourishing than a biscuit, the bun provides hearty sustenance, often being the saving grace of the starving who would go against their honest natures and steal this humble bit of bread as their hunger threatens them painfully. In fact, the symbol of bread stolen by a decent soul in order to feed themselves or their family, and the punishment they endure as a result, is an oft-used trope in literature, and for good reason. It shows an admirable will to live or to save the life of another, whilst casting a critical eye upon a society in which any person would be branded as criminal simply for obeying the most basic survival instinct, the drive to eat. Where in your life are you undernourished, either physically, emotionally, or spiritually? Are there people who could assist but who you have been afraid to ask for help? Are there others whom you could provide nourishment to? If we share our resources, there truly is enough to go around, and never ever feel guilty for needing what you need. Exactly what I was saying, and also echoes the Nourish Your Body with High Vibing Energy and the World card. Wow. So I'm getting that some of you also might be worried about actual physical starvation if you get away from this person or situation. It might be that this person or situation is kind of where you make ends meet and they're what keeps you fed. They keep food on the table, the lights on. But I'm kind of getting that reach out to those around you to find a game plan if that is the case, because there is always a plan B. Like, it's scary to ask for help, especially when you might have been in this situation for a while, but it's better late than never. So let's see. I'm going to pull from this Moonology deck, and I think I'll close it up there. Okay. So we have your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon in reverse. Believe in the impossible, blue moon in reverse. And then we have it's time to take action, new moon in Aries, with take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Okay. So with disseminating moon, I get also disseminating, reminds me of disseminating information. So this kind of talks to me about kind of what I've said already of take the time to look within yourself about the truth of the situation. Truth of the situation. Throat chakra issues, make sure you're speaking your truth, because as you discover the truth of the situation, I feel like you might be apt to kind of just suppress that again and not pay attention to the truth that was revealed to you, but it is really important to speak it once you understand what it is, especially with the new moon in Aries. Once you take that time out to see the truth, it is going to be time to take action. You're not going to have, that luxury of just sitting still anymore. You're going to have to just choose to take action in the matter at that point. And then with your commitment is being tested in reverse, I feel like you've stayed in the situation longer than you should because you were worried about, I don't want to give up so easy. I don't want to say I didn't try. And this is saying, well, you did try, and now you're trying too much, and it's not on you to try anymore. They or the situation did not improve, and it's time to move on. Believe in the impossible in reverse tells me you're not believing in the impossible, or really that you think the situation getting better is impossible. And in a kind of way, you're right. Where you are currently probably won't get better. But you can make your life better in general by walking away from that situation to something better. I kind of want to grab a last card or two from my first Night Vale deck, see what we get. We have Justice with the Ten of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, so loud. So if you've never watched, it's a podcast. You can't watch a podcast. If you've never listened to Night Vale, I highly recommend listening to episode 13, A Story About You. That is the picture on this card. I didn't write down the full quote, and I know it, but I'm going to try and read the part of the quote I have written down. It is my absolute favorite episode, and it always helps ground me. All at once the consequences. All at once you are no longer free. It's all coming back around. Yeah, I think it's like life, bleary, washed out, finally snaps back into focus. The tower in the light on the tower in the distance blinks, and every message in this world has a meaning. It finally makes sense, and you are being punished. So, not to be so scary with that quote, it's just a quote that means a lot to me. But what this says in particular to me is you are at a turning point. I don't want to give away this episode because I really, really encourage you, if you've made it this far in this reading, to go listen to it. Again, episode 13, A Story About You. Even so, in Night Vale, the weather, they play a song. Even the weather for that episode has a meaning that I think you will find. So if you have time, I think it's like 20 minutes. Definitely go listen to it. Maybe listen to it while you're like cleaning your house or something. I don't know. Just go listen to it. So we have justice. The picture in the card, though, it's a planet of awesome size, lit by no sun, all thick black forests and deep turbulent oceans and jagged mountains. Yeah, just things seem overwhelming right now, but there's justice coming in the situation, especially the Ten of Pentacles following that. Ten of Pentacles is kind of the card of you finally have it all. You have that stability you've been longing for. You have everything you've needed. And Queen of Swords in reverse. Queen of Swords, in being in reverse, I think is a warning to not let this situation, let you become jaded. With your feminine energy, because again, we did have feminine energy coming out before. But also the picture in this card is intern Maureen. And intern Maureen, she works at the radio station as an intern, and Cecil tells her to go investigate the dog park. And she ends up being sucked into a desert otherworld for a significant amount of time. And so he won't give her intern credits because she was on vacation in the dog park. So she ends up walking away from it. And then so she goes and does another internship where she accidentally raises a prince from hell, and she walks away from that to finally go be with the person from the record store they end up dating. But what this tells me is this is saying walk away from the situation, and that is where you find your Ten of Pentacles, and justice will be brought in. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this resonated for you. This went kind of long. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you whenever I decide to do another one of these. Bye, guys.